Hello.
Hey,
We're at week 4 already, and we're starting to figure out who's good, who's kind of bad, who's really bad, a little bit more every week.
there are some mysteries though, aren't there?
Oh yeah, definitely some mysteries and the injuries to key players are starting to happen. So we'll touch on all of that. We got another full slate of games. I think the first bye week is next week or maybe week 6. I'm not sure. I know the Vikings have a bye in week 6, so um, full slate this week. So let's get to it. Let's go back through our picks. Another sort of mediocre week. We had a lot, so let's go through it here. You had the Colts minus 3.5 for 2 stars, and they steamrolled the Titans. I'm pretty sure. I can't
They
remember the
popped them.
final, but
Did they get 40? I feel like they got 40.
yeah, I don't know. It was a lot. I mean, who would have thought the Colts would be like the most consistently great offensive team? Well, I don't know. The Bills too, but
41-20.
yeah. Wow. So yeah, the Titans did not get feisty at home in a divisional game. The Colts just didn't make mistakes and scored 40 and said F off,
Yeah,
basically.
they are. I mean, they're a surprise this year. What you think? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, like I guess it sort of makes sense, but you still didn't expect Daniel Jones to like play this well. Although it just goes to say, if you have a really good offensive line, and I know you're high on Steichen as a coach, and
yeah,
obviously the defense is playing better than they had been. I mean, I don't know.
best running back in the league though, right? Like at this point,
Yeah,
you can't
and then there's that.
fantasy
Yeah,
juggernaut, right? So how much is that? How much of it? He had three touchdowns on Sunday. Three, I think.
yeah. He was when I was checking scores, he ripped off like a 40, 50 yarder at one point. So yeah, he had a pretty good day. But yeah, I mean, like again, the recipe for how to win, like a really accurate quarterback with a good offensive line and a really good running back, and then a solid defense. Like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I don't know, but a lot of teams don't put their money there for some reason. But yeah, Danny Dimes.
Well, are we seeing, yeah, right? So are we seeing though a shift in how um the NFL is going? Because if you think about how um how dynamic the Ravens are, we can talk about the Ravens in a minute, but the way that Derrick Henry sort of drives that offense, the way that Barkley has helped the Eagles, and if you look at what Taylor is doing in Indy right now, do running backs matter again? Does it matter? Like, do you need?
Yeah, I think the whole shift to like they're just complete commodities was obviously overblown, and now
Yeah,
it's coming back to yeah. I mean, absolutely, but
yeah, weird.
yeah, I mean, like if you all of those teams I would say have very good offensive lines. So if you can
So
put
maybe
the
that's
two
it.
together,
Okay.
right, like Saquon was always really good, but he
Yeah.
just kept getting hurt and he couldn't find space
Yeah.
because the Giants' offensive line was terrible,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, if you can like get the two together, yeah, I mean that absolutely like a really an elite running back with an elite offensive line is going to go a long way. And a lot of people just kind of overlook one or the other, or
Yeah.
don't think about it. But
And they're not asking him to do too much. Like, I mean, I know he had over 200 yards, right? But only one touchdown. So it's not like they're. He doesn't need to be Tom Brady. He's not like game manager, but he's not as much of a focal point as maybe some other QBs. It feels like as well, right?
right, definitely.
But he's good when they need him to be, right? Like he's good when they need him to be. Otherwise, he just doesn't fuck up.
Right, but yeah, I mean, who'd have thought? Chiefs 1-2, Ravens 1-2,
Yeah,
Colts, Chargers are the juggernauts in the AFC. I
it's
mean,
crazy.
I saw the Chargers being good. Like they've got those things you talk about as well. Like Herbert's, I would say, borderline elite. I don't know how if their offensive line is like great, but they're
Yeah,
probably very good, I would say.
Sure.
But yeah,
Sorry, we spent a lot of time on this, but to your point about offensive line, 0 sacks.
yeah.
0 sacks for Daniel Jones.
Another thing, one of my friends is a athletic trainer for a college football team, and they played against Daniel Jones in college when he was at, I think, Duke. Did he go to Duke? I forget where he went. Anyway,
I want to say he went to Delaware, but I know that's Joe Flacco, but it feels like he went to a Delaware-like school.
yeah.
UConn, maybe? Anyway, sorry.
We'll look it up. We'll fact check this after the show. But like he just said, like he was extremely accurate in college. Like when you saw him live in person, you could just see that he was just putting the ball exactly where it needed to be. So I don't know. It kind of makes sense this many years later that you just protect him, right? You protect someone who's super accurate, maybe not great at making off-script plays, but if he doesn't really need to do that, then he's going to have success. So. All right. Yeah, let's move on. Let's try to get through these. All right. So we were split on the Steelers and the Patriots. I had the Steelers, you had the Patriots. That game was the Steelers did lead for most of it, but the Patriots just kept fumbling. They had like 3 lost fumbles by their running backs. So you take that out of the equation. I don't know. I mean, it could have gone either way, definitely. So I get that one. Jets Bucks was insane. There was 3 blocked field goals in time span of like literally like 10 real minutes. It was nuts. Like nothing like
all of them had an impact on the game too. All of them.
Nothing like that's ever happened before. And I think 2 of them,
it's crazy.
2 of them were returned for touchdowns. So
yes, that changed the course of the game.
Yeah. So we'll get to that.
Actually, that's not true. Never mind.
So in the Jets Bucks game, the Jets had one of their best athletes on defense. He jumped over the center, didn't make contact. You can do that. Blocked it, scooped it, scored to go up by 1. Then obviously it's like Baker Mayfield with 2 timeouts in a minute 40. They're just going to go down and at least attempt another field goal. And then the Bucks still end up pulling it out. But the Jets were down by 17 in the fourth quarter. So I got that one a little bit lucky. You can be on the good and the bad side of luck. And then the Jets almost win the game. It was kind of crazy. All right, the next one, Raiders at Washington. So this was the game where everything pointed to Washington. Like this was a 3-star hands down, even though Mariota was playing, right? Washington had extra rest. The Raiders had played Monday and they're going to Sunday. Way less rest. Flying from Vegas to Washington. It just like you can't be as into it and have as much energy and stamina and whatnot when you're on a short week flying across the country versus a team that has 10 days rest. Like you just can't.
Also, Raiders, bad team.
Oh yeah.
Just bad. Maybe just bad team.
Yeah. Talent, execution typically does matter too. Yeah.
I'm just right. Like because we're trying to figure out like where are these teams at, and the Raiders people didn't know, new coach, people like Geno Smith, but it just may be a bad team. Like this is when they play the Bears this weekend, that'll tell, right? Because if they lose to the Bears, I think that the Raiders will be one of my picks this week, but we'll get to that. So Raiders I think beat the Patriots in New England. Okay, the Patriots are probably a very average team, I would say, maybe at best at this point. Not seeing the Vrabel impact, I don't think you wanted to see, right? Through these 3 games.
Yeah. So they beat them, then they lost to a very good Chargers team, albeit at home. I think that was a Monday night game. Was that one of those 2 Monday night games? So beat a maybe average team at best, lose to one of the better teams, probably one of the top 5 or 8 definitely teams in the NFL. And then tough spot, you lose to, the Commanders made the NFC Championship game last year. So a little bit like, I don't know. Yeah, there's no way they're good. They might be okay, but still kind of tough to tell. I feel like their schedule hasn't been great for them. But yeah, we'll get to that. They get to host the Bears this week, and we'll talk about that. So this happened last week. My early ones were good picks, and then I just went to crap on the later ones. But we'll get to that. So Bengals Vikings. We were talking about this last week, where it was like, this doesn't really make sense. Like, shouldn't the Bengals like? Should this be more of a pick 'em or maybe Bengals? Well,
Man,
the whole like defense, better defense. I think you mentioned that. Yeah, the Vikings. So Isaiah Rodgers, did you see this? Isaiah Rodgers had two forced fumbles,
I was
a
watching
pick
it, man.
six, and a fumble six in the first half. That's got to be like the
Unbelievable.
best half
That's why-
performance for a defensive player ever.
That's why I texted you, man, because it was like at the end of the half, and all of that had happened, and fucking the time was winding down, and O'Connell's going for it with like 14 seconds left at the end of the second half or whatever, and I'm like, well, they're already up 30, and I'm like, does he hate them?
First half, right?
Yeah, first
Yeah,
half.
yeah.
Yeah, like it was like,
Well, he
why
needed
had it- did he?
he needed Reichard to get his career-long field goal.
I guess
62.
fair enough. Fair enough. But it was just, I couldn't believe it. Like I thought they might be more of a game, and Browning won some games with them last year, and I just again Bengals maybe just bad team.
Yeah,
I just and
Well-
then
without Burrow, not great offensive line, not very good defense. Probably like you're gonna struggle. You've got holes like that. You're gonna struggle. Like things
Yeah.
like this can happen.
they're but fuck them though, because that offensive line has been a problem since Burrow got there, and when they got him, in that draft, they prioritized Jamar Chase over any sort of offensive line. I don't know what they've done successively, like since, right? But then they sort of created a little model, right? You draft your quarterback and you draft your receiver in the same class. You draft them both high, and then you've got this dynamic offense, and that worked with Jamar Chase and Burrow for a bit until they both started getting injured. And that's what the Bears tried to do, right? We saw that with Williams and Odunze. But both of these teams are struggling because their offensive lines fucking suck. Like the Bears' offensive line still fucking. We can talk about that later. But anyway, it's like they haven't fixed it in like 5 years, and everybody's broken now.
Yeah, the Bengals have a real problem just because they just paid all these people and they can't. And then Burrow gets hurt again, and now I saw that he's basically probably out for the whole regular season rather than coming back in like 3 months.
Yeah, well, you know what? If I was him, why would I rush back? You're just going to get injured again. The conditions aren't going to change. Make them build it. Do it better.
Right, but
Do it better.
I mean, he was one of the ones who was kind of outspoken about pay Higgins, pay these guys, right, these receivers, and then like if you have Chase and two maybe average receivers behind him, and then like two much better offensive linemen, like does that not equal better results? I mean, it absolutely does. Look at Indy, Pittman, Downs, Pierce, like. Who even is the number one there? They've got three like very average receivers and a good running back and a good line, and Daniel Jones hasn't been touched. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem hard.
No, it doesn't. Does it?
Yeah. All right.
It's
So
really easy.
Vikings rolled like 48-10 or something like that. They were
They
up by,
switched the game.
yeah, they did.
They
said
switched
no,
the game.
like in the third quarter with like
Yes.
7 minutes left. Or something.
It was like a suicide rule. That was like the NFL equivalent of the suicide rule. It's like you get your game gets yanked from national TV.
So the Bengals trailed by more points in that game than they had ever before as a franchise, 45. It was 48-3, and they flashed that one up on the screen. So just
Unbelievable
not a good day up in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
All right. So
for the Bengals.
right, Texans at the Jaguars. I just don't understand how the Texans are just bad. I went 3 stars on the Texans. Ugly game, low scoring game. Texans end up tying it at 10, and they're setting up for a field goal, or they're getting in range for a field goal. And I think they turned it over. They like fumbled on the Jags like 30, and then the Jags go down, get a touchdown, and then it's basically game over. I don't know. It's crazy to me that the Texans are 0-3, and it's not like they've been playing the best teams in the NFL every week. Really odd to me, and interesting to see how they respond. Like, I don't think Ryans will lose the locker room or anything like that, but Stroud's getting hit a lot. I don't know if it's because he's holding the ball, if guys aren't open, if his line is bad. I mean, need to do a little more research on figuring out what's going on there. But yeah, Texans 0-3. That's nuts. All right, so I stuck my neck out there for the Texans, and they didn't come through for me. Noted. Okay, Broncos at Chargers. I had 3 stars on the Broncos. They got down early, but then they led for like most of the second and third quarters and even part of the fourth quarter. And then the Chargers just said, we're more clutch. We're going to win this game. And they win by 3. So that was 2.5. I got beat by the hook and missed that one. All right. Saints and Seahawks. I thought this might be a little bit of a trap game for the Seahawks because it's the Saints, right? It's like, how do you get up for the Saints? Well, they won by a million and it was never close. The Saints, I think they might have to cut them from the league. Like they're as bad as we thought they would be. So I went Saints there. I thought they could keep it close just because the Seahawks would be sleeping, but credit to them on just coming out and playing football while getting paid millions of dollars. Tough to do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You had the Cardinals and they, for 3 stars and at +1.5, and they lose by 1. So you get that. That was that's a good one. Good one to have.
Hell yeah, man! I know football is so good.
Yeah, Eddie Pinheiro, not Jake Moody, kicked the game winner for the Niners. And Mac Jones. How about Mac Jones? 2-0.
He looked so happy, so confident. He's like, I'm not on New England anymore. Fuck it. Yeah, touchdown.
So much of this is about fit, like, and just can you protect a guy and
personnel. I think you protect a guy. What are you doing to make it ideal conditions? I think so. This leads perfectly into the Bears in terms of, I don't know what the game told us about the Cardinals or the NFC West. Only that they are by number the best division in football right now. I think collectively their record is 9-3.
Yeah. So everyone's 2-1.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think that is right. They're all 2-1. Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
So last year was kind of
or 9-4, whatever.
I don't know that. No, I think 9-3 would be right. But
San Francisco's undefeated, I think.
Right. They might be.
So
who's 1 and 2 then? Well, we'll figure it out.
I don't know, man.
But last year, I don't know that they were all this good, but they were all kind of neck and neck. Because remember, like halfway through the season, the Cardinals were in the lead, but like everyone was relevant. And then, I think everyone ended up with at least.
It was competitive. San Francisco sort of tanked towards the end. I mean,
that's right. Yeah,
because they were 6 and whatever. Everybody. So San Francisco's 3-0, and then everybody else is 2-1. 9.
So that's even. Well, no. Yeah, you're right. 9-3. That makes sense. Got it. All right.
Anyway, best division in football.
Yeah, for wins and losses. I mean, we'd have to analyze who they've played, but
but for a quirk of fate, special teams mishap, Rams could also be 3-0.
Yeah, that was an interesting one too, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So, Cowboys, Bears. You had the Cowboys. You didn't trust your Bears, and it was one of those where the Bears just showed up. Like every 3 to 4 weeks, they show up and they just smash, and that's what happened.
Look. I think this is so simple. Every article, everything that I have read about breaking this down is to me exactly right. This game doesn't mean anything, doesn't show anything, doesn't prove anything. That offense had almost ideal conditions with which to operate. He was under almost no pressure. That line looked way better than it did the previous 2 weeks, and it was like, and I've been critical of Williams. But in retrospect, looking at those games, that line was disintegrating around him at that point. You know what I mean? Like he was getting a lot of pressure. That was completely absent. And then on top of it, there is, I guess, a defensive school of thought out there that thinks that the back of the end zone is just fine to leave wide open.
Yeah.
Fine to it's okay. And then if one of the best receivers in the league potentially just happens to just stand there for several seconds, untouched and unknown, to receive a touchdown pass just like this, you just, what does it tell you? It's like, what does that figure? You're not playing against an NFL level defense. That's what it tells me. And so I don't know what it means about the offense, but it's fun to watch.
They exposed Eberflus. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I just put a guy back there.
yeah. Cover the guys. They're the ones who catch the balls for the points. All right. So Chiefs Giants. You had 3 stars on the Giants. Weird game.
Cowboys fucked me again though, because that's who the Giants had played the previous week, and Russell Wilson had 450 yards. Right? Okay. And so I didn't realize at the time that it was the defensive unit that was at fault and not Russell Wilson being a good quarterback. And then now, no, he's not. And it's clear that he probably should be starting. Anyway, so that's why. But
yeah,
never again.
So that the Chiefs Giants game was weird. Like,
wasn't fun to watch.
Gano got hurt like right before the kickoff, so they literally like the only thing they could do is try like super short field goals. So they went for it a couple times. They missed a field goal with their like emergency kicker. I think got blocked, or I forget. And then Gano kicked a really short one. But that game was like the last 3 minutes of the first half was weird. There was like 4 or 5 possessions. The Giants were playing hard, like they were kind of in it. I mean, it was 9-6 at half, something like that. And then, the Giants just couldn't get it in the end zone. Their kicker couldn't kick more than basically like a 30-yard field goal. And it was, I don't know, like, I don't think your pick was terrible there. I think it was a little bit of bad luck.
It's just, well, again, if you have a secondary and a defensive, it was just they're not a good defensive unit. I don't know what to say, and they maybe they're the worst based on that. I mean, so the Giants they're not very good. I was just gonna say I was thinking, who are the teams that are sort of like imploding right now? And it feels like it's the Giants and the Saints and maybe one other, but those are Miami are the teams to me feel like they're kind of just done, but already done.
Miami.
They had a little life.
We'll see. Yeah, they definitely played hard. Like they were in that game, and then Tua threw that pick. Like they had a very decent chance to win that game, and they were playing hard. So McDaniel hadn't lost the locker room at that point. And if they can play like that, I mean, they were depleted too. I don't know. Like obviously they can have some success if they can play like that. But
yeah, and here's just with the Giants. We'll see what happens if they move to dirt, right? So who knows?
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen. I mean, what have they said about that?
I haven't heard anything. How much longer though do you continue to? What's the point of whatever they're doing now? I don't know what it does.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you lose a few more and you get to like 0-5 or 1-7 or something. And yeah, I mean, like what Russell is. So do you try to just see what you have and give him some game time? I don't know.
There's just no institutional benefit to losing. Do you know what I mean? It's just like at some point, like even at the end of the season, some of the guys will still be there. And so you want them to be winning guys, right? Like, so you want to win. There's no reason to just lose. It just there's no long-term benefit to that. I mean, I guess draft capital, but honestly, fuck that. Because I think nobody's good at the draft. So why would you do objectively stupid things, shitty things, right? For such an unpredictable result. Anyway.
Yeah. So the last one was Lions at the Ravens. Both teams were scoring. It was pretty close, and then the Ravens just made mistakes, fumbled, just didn't execute, and the Lions just went for it on fourth. They did execute. They got the clutch gene. Like they just
team.
Who?
The Ravens.
Yeah, they're good, but I don't. You have to figure out what it is that makes them keep making these mistakes, because like it's not
error prone.
Hit you in the face. Like, so Henry gets, like, Hutchinson goes too far upfield, Henry gets by him, and then, like, I don't know, like, maybe Henry needs to just hold on to the ball better, but I feel like most running backs are going to fumble in that situation. Like, a guy comes from behind that you don't see and punches directly at the ball. Like, you're not going to, when there's no one in front of you, you're not going to go like this, like, I don't know. It just seemed like sort of unlucky in a way, but it keeps happening, so there's got to be something to it.
It's just it is over and over again. So that's, I guess, can you be a good team and be that accident prone, be that error prone? I don't know, and it's hard. Look, I get it. If there's something going, I don't know, but it's sad because they're so fun to watch, and when they're moving, pushing all cylinders. It's like I do think they're the best team in football, but they're just never. They don't ever seem to be able to do that consistently. And I think I don't know. The Lions have looked great. I know once was against the Bears, but Lions looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean they're finding their way with their new coordinators and whatnot, but I mean it sure seems like they got them up to speed pretty quick. Okay, so I got that one. So week 3 I was 4-3. You were 2-4. Again, nothing to write home about. I think I'm 8-8. You're 6-10. So we'll try to get hot in week 4. Yeah. So let's get to it.
Do it. Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow night, Thursday, we have the Seahawks at the Cardinals. James Conner is out for the season with, I'm not sure if it's a knee injury, but I'm pretty sure he's confirmed out for the season. So I went, and this was before that news came out that he was out, I believe, because I guessed these on Monday night, maybe. I forget. So I said Cardinals by 1.
I did Cardinals -3.
And I believe this shifted over to the Seahawks with the injury news. So opened at Cardinals 2.5, which would have been in between us.
Hawks 1.5.
Seahawks 1.5. Yeah.
That makes sense. I honestly don't know that I wouldn't like the Seahawks here anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they've got a decent to maybe good defense, maybe great. I don't know. And the offense seems to kind of know what it's doing. I know they've got Charbonnet's got injured or whatever, but that doesn't matter.
I think this is a division game, and it could very well be very close. And I don't really know who's going to win. I think it's fair. Seahawks off a win. I think they're 2-1. Cardinals off a loss, also 2-1. I don't know. Is there a little more there for the Cardinals? I don't think so. I mean, Seahawks didn't overlook the Saints. It's a division game. I think both teams are going to come ready to play. Trey Benson, I think, is a very serviceable, solid backup. So, obviously you'd rather have Connor in there, but I don't know that it's going to make a huge difference. I have no opinion on this. We're kind of getting long-winded already, so unless you have a pick.
Yeah, man, I'll go. I'll take the Hawks.
Seahawks for how many stars?
1.5.
1.5 stars?
1. I'll take them for 1.
1 star. All right. Okay.
Hey, this is the kids' school. Do you mind if I take this?
Yeah, go ahead. No worries. All right.
Yes.
So we had a.
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna. Josh had to step away for a little bit, so I'm just going to continue on here. The next game is in Dublin. It's the Vikings against the Steelers. So Aaron Rodgers used to play for the Packers, so the Vikings know him fairly well. We've got a neutral site game in, as I said, Dublin, Ireland, 8:30 a.m. on Sunday. I said Steelers by 2.5, and we're just going to go through the lines, what they actually are, and then when Josh comes back, we will get his guesses and see who kind of won. So the first line, I got that one right. So I get the point there. So Vikings Steelers, I said Steelers 2.5. It is. So it did open at Steelers 2.5. It jumped all the way to Vikings 2.5. That is a lot of line movement. I'm not really sure what's going on there. So I'm guessing I'm going to lose that one since I missed it by 5 points, which is quite a bit. But we'll see when Josh comes back. All right, let's move on to the noon round on Sunday. So we've got the Saints at the Bills. This is the worst team in the NFL against one of the top probably 2 or 3 teams in the NFL. So when this happens, the team in the Bills position, one of the best teams, is usually favored by at least 2 touchdowns. So I went Bills by 16, and I think that's about what it is. Let's check here. Opened at 14.5, and it jumped to 16.5. So I missed that by a half a point. Okay, so very fair. The Saints are bad, and they're getting smoked, and the Bills are really good. They're putting up a lot of points. So 16.5 is a lot of points. I think it's fair. If the Saints can hang around a little bit, that can be a tough number to cover. So I don't really like it one way or another. So I'll move on to the Titans at the Texans. I believe this is the 0-3 Titans at the 0-3 Texans. Somebody's got to win, or maybe they'll tie. Maybe that's the safe pick here is just a tie. So I said Texans by 6. What do we got here? It is open at 7.5, and it's 7. So it's a tick higher. I guess that's a fair line. People still think the Texans are a better team. I don't know. Like, are you really giving an 0-3 team 7 points though? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, people still think the Texans are definitely the better team. Can they win by a touchdown at home? I don't know. It's a fair line. Titans did just get blown out at home, so they've got some issues, obviously. All right, let's move on. I've got the Browns at the Lions. Browns fresh off their blocked field goal and then 55-yarder to win it against the Packers at home. And the Lions fresh off their Monday night victory against the Ravens. So Browns at Lions. I said Lions by 8.
So what happened? So he came to you complaining that was that what happened?
So the most consistent line is Lions 9. So missed it by a 1 point. What do we think here? The Browns defense is clearly solid. They still didn't really score points, but they did enough to beat the Packers. This is very interesting. The Browns defense is looking very solid right now. Anyone who can hold the Packers offense down like that is obviously pretty good. So they'll get another test. The Lions are one of the best offenses in the league, clearly. So this will be kind of strength against strength. And I don't know what wins out. 9 points, again, can be quite a bit. I actually kind of think the Lions are going to be extra motivated just because they saw what the Browns did to the Packers, and they're not going to overlook them. So I'm going to go Lions here. Lions -9. I like it. I'm going to go 1 star on the Lions.
I might come in day. I can't right now. Can we keep him in the office for an hour? And I can get him.
All right, so let's move on.
All right. Well,
We've got the Commanders at the Falcons. So I'm going Commanders -1.5. And it is exactly that. So I nailed that one. All right. Commanders 1.5. I think this is very fair. Obviously, I nailed it. So Falcons.
I'm back.
Oh, sorry, dude. The ghost emerged.
Oh shit, we're doing this. Oh my god, and potty mouth. Oh, fine.
No worries. Okay, so I'm going through and doing my guesses and what the line is, and then we'll go back after this one. We'll go back and get caught up, basically. I'm just gonna do.
Let's do it. This was actually beneficial. I should have probably just left because my lines suck. So, but anyway, maybe it'll be entertaining for the viewing audience, perhaps.
All right, give me. I'm just gonna shift some stuff over here. Spreadsheet's not quite where it needed to be. All right, so Washington minus 1.5. I think the Commanders are definitely the better team. The Falcons got blown out by 30-0 to the Panthers.
What happened? Can we take a step? I know I've been gone. What the fuck happened in that Falcons Vikings game? Like, what did that game say about either of those teams?
Well, that was the McCarthy baby game.
Is that what that? Yes. Okay.
7,000 injuries. Okay. Darisaw wasn't even in there. They had two offensive linemen.
So nothing is what we're saying.
Falcons do have a good defense, especially when they're playing against 3 backup offensive linemen.
Okay. All right. So
and McCarthy was clearly like just not
there. Not ready. Second game. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yep. Go back.
No worries. So
Falcon also might be just a bad team.
Yeah. So Washington gets a kind of an easy win at home against the Raiders, and now they're going on the road. The Falcons got blanked by the Panthers, so now they're coming home. Like, they should have the juice. They should be able to compete here. So you either think they will, or maybe, I mean, Penix had a really bad stat line. I didn't watch any of that game, but or maybe the Falcons just aren't that good. But either way you look at it, I think this is a fair line. I don't really have an opinion. Like, maybe if I had to take it, I would trust the Falcons at home just because they do have a pretty good defense. I feel like they can keep it close, but I don't have an opinion on that one. So now that Josh is back, let's go back to his guesses and we'll see who got these. So, all right. So what do you got for Steelers Vikings in Dublin?
I went Steelers -3.
Steelers -3. Yeah. It opened at 2.5, and that's right about where I was at, and it jumped all the way to Vikings by 2.5. So you said Steelers by 3.
Yeah, you're gonna get that,
and I get that. I'm gonna do one other thing here. I didn't copy this over. Amateur hour, apparently.
I think the Vikings might be a very good football team.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong.
Don't you need a good a very good quarterback to be a very good football team?
I do, maybe not. I mean, maybe you need a guy who's not going to make mistakes and can give you the kill throw when you need it. But if you've got a great defense, an attacking defense, and if you've got an offensive line and a running game, maybe you don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because if you look at it, one of the major topics is sort of the macro topics of the NFL over recent years has been sort of scoring is down. So maybe not. Maybe you don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't. I don't get the warm and fuzzies like with McCarthy has 2 starts under his belt and he's hurt, and then Wentz, like, what's his ceiling at this point in his career? I don't know. I mean, maybe with a very strong coach, and if his line stays healthy, he can.
I mean, he's now 40. How old is he? Is he 30? Is he even in his mid-30s?
I would say he's probably 32 or 33.
Okay, I mean, that's still quarterback prime if you're anywhere near decent.
Right. Obviously they killed the Bengals, but even in that game, he was holding on to the ball too long, and they asked O'Connell about it, and he. It's not like he was super pissed about it, but he's like, I think if he could have those back, he would throw those away. Well, that's kind of always been his problem. Like he held onto the ball a little too long. So I don't know. We'll see. Don't go start calling my team great. You know what happens when that.
That's fair. I won't. I'm not trying to do that. I look at what happens. I look at a team that comes back when it's down with a rookie QB, and I look at a team that goes out and then after an odd loss goes out and then completely tears apart their next opponent. I don't know. To me, that's saying something pretty loud.
Yeah. They certainly seem to play well at home. Good defense, well coached. Like they compete. for the most part at home. So yeah,
Year to year consistency we're seeing. So I mean, again, I know it's still in early season, early in this season, but again, even going back into the preceding season.
Yeah.
So to
I
speak,
like
so-
where we're at with the structure of the organization. And
Important stuff, Dan.
O'Connell did give a killer post-game speech too. It came up on my, I don't know what it was, Facebook or whatever, and it's pretty solid. I could tell, the team's playing hard for him for sure. All right, so let's get. What did you have for Saints at Bills?
I went low. I went 12 and a half. The Bills give him 12 and a half.
All right, 12 and a half. And it was 16 and a half. I said 16, so I get that one. It's one of the worst going on the road against one of the best. And kind of what I said is it's usually at around 14, sometimes can be a little lower or higher. And how bad the Saints have looked and how good the Bills have looked, I was just like, I thought it could even be 17 or more, but I went 16 at 16 and a half. I don't know what you do with this game. It's probably going to be ugly. Does anyone in the world see a scenario where the Saints are like leading in the third quarter in any, is there any possibility of that? I mean, the Bills are well coached too, right?
So they're not going to Rattler's backup.
They've got a guy named like Shoe or Slew, and then they've got another guy named, well, they still have Hayner, don't they?
The first guy, if he comes in, maybe. If Keanu Reeves from the replacements walks into the locker room at halftime and somebody's asking that question, who can lead us? And he says, I can. Then yes, I think they can.
All right.
But absent that, probably not.
All right. So we got Titans at the Texans.
Titans.
Speaking of football movies, remember the Titans? All right. 0-3 versus 0-3.
Let me posit this to you. If the Texans lose this game, does DeMeco Ryans get fired?
No, just because, I mean, it's way too early for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can't give up. Like, obviously something's broken, but yeah, that would be crazy.
Does CJ Stroud get fired?
I don't know. I need to figure out what the problem actually is, because
Offensive line.
it's got to be, because like maybe he's holding the ball too long too, but like, or their offensive coordinator is maybe terrible, but I'm pretty sure he's getting sacked a lot, getting hit a lot.
Isn't it cool that we've solved football?
Yeah.
We figured it out.
Yeah. Should we stop now?
I mean, probably. Just close the book on it.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Man. Let's talk baseball. One
Great.
week left to go, and then the play. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so 0-3 at 0-3. I went Texans 6. What did you have?
I went Texans give me 4.5.
All right, and it's 7.
I'm getting bounced this week.
So I get that one.
Not good.
I don't know. 0-3 versus 0-3. I mean, I guess it makes sense. The Texans still are the better team, so it's more than 3. It's not 10. It's 7. It's a touchdown. I don't have any opinion on that.
I'm going ahead and give me the Titans. I'm going to take the Titans here.
Titans.
Yeah.
All right.
I take the Titans for 2.
Titans 2 stars. All right. Sold. All right, let's go to Browns at the Lions. So I said Lions by 8. What did you have?
Lions by maybe I didn't do this one. I was going to go Lions by 5.5 because I don't have it.
All right. So it's actually Lions 9. So I'm going to get that one. Yeah, I mean, I actually like the Lions in this one. I mean, the Browns just beat the Packers, right? That was a huge win for them. Their defense is pretty solid, but
Is it the best in the NFL?
They held the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half, and still lost. And then if you hold the Packers down like they did, like you got to be doing something right. I think kind of a big win for them. They're still not good as a team.
Yep.
Now you're going on the road at the Lions. The Lions are going to be ready to go. They're like, okay, this team just beat the Packers. Like we gotta not overlook them, sort of a thing. So they'll be ready to go. Like the Lions are a team that will go for it up a touchdown in the fourth quarter, fourth down, and like Montgomery runs it in and they end up winning by 8 points last week. Like they're that team that they're not just going to run the ball and punt the ball away, sort of a thing. So I think they can cover 9. I think this is going to be a very tough spot for the Browns. So I went 1 star on the Lions.
Dan Campbell, the coach.
Yeah, definitely.
Does the NFC North have the best cadre of coaches in the league?
I think hands down. I'd have to think about it more, but I mean, it's
out of all
gotta
the
be
4 teams. Yeah.
I
mean, it feels like if they're not, it feels like they have to be in the conversation, right? It's like them and who else? I feel like.
Well, the AFC West with
Harbaugh and Reed.
Reed.
Right now, you got Pete Carroll,
and
your mileage maker.
Broncos.
Oh yeah, Peyton. All right, so you got 2 Super Bowl winners in that league, in that division. So
I don't know. I'd have to think about it more to see if there's other divisions that are better. But I mean, those probably are the 2 best.
That's good. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so then we're back to where we kind of got caught up here. Washington at the Falcons. I said Washington 1.5. That's exactly what it is. What did you have there?
Probably not that. I know I had the Commanders favored by 4 or giving 4.
All right, so I get that one. I'm up 6 rip this week.
Why is this so low? Yeah,
it's just the whole it's such a week-to-week league. People are gonna overreact to the Falcons getting blown up by the Panthers,
but then Washington put up 40.
The other thing is Daniels.
40?
I think Daniels is playing, but
maybe that. So Matt, that might be it then. Okay, that's it. That has to be it. Otherwise, I have no fucking clue why this line is so low. Whatever. I like Washington here, but I'm putting money on it.
We got a good game after that.
Yes.
We got the Eagles.
Game of the week.
Bucks, both 3-0.
Yes.
Eagles at the Bucks. So the Bucks have been one of the few teams that could solve the Eagles the last few years. They beat them twice 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And then last year, I want to say they played each other last year, but
they did. I think they played. It was one of their early season losses because the last year the Bucks I think beat the Lions. They beat the Eagles. Is that 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, I don't know, but the Bucks aren't intimidated by the Eagles, so I went Eagles 1.5.
I went Bucks given 1.5.
I think it was Eagles 3 at one point.
It's 3.5.
Eagles 3.5.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bucks here for 3. I actually think the Eagles are probably gonna win, but fuck it, I like the Bucks, man.
Bucks 3 stars.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, man, I don't understand why that's more than a field goal. It certainly seems like the Bucks should be able to cover that.
It's like a 6.5 spread at home. You know, the Bucks. I know that they were discombobulated that year, but the Bucks beat the Eagles in the playoffs in Philadelphia.
Mike Evans is probably out. He got hurt.
That's fair.
Definitely matters.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Game over.
The Eagles aren't really blowing teams out per se. I don't know what to think about this. It's definitely a head scratcher, and I don't have a strong opinion. Evans out, can the Eagles win by at least 4? Sure, but could the Bucks also just say we know what these guys do? We'll be in the game at the end of the game and keep it to a field goal.
Could it be in a field goal? That's it, right? Could it be a field goal? And the answer is yes. And do I think? I don't know. It just I know Baker can be a mercurial passer, right? But I think this season I should have looked this up. I don't think he's thrown as many interceptions as he had to this point in previous seasons. So, we'll see. Anyway, I hope the Bucks win.
Yeah, I don't know on that one. We'll see. I mean, good game, right? 3-0, 3-0. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. Panthers at the Patriots. I said Patriots by 3.5.
I went Patriots given 3.
Ooh. I don't remember what this is. Opened at
5.5.
5. It went up to 5.5. I might get the sweep this week.
Getting blanked. Oh, it's not good.
Oh wait, this one. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
all right.
Totally good.
Okay. after last week, like I was thinking these teams are more just kind of equal. And if you ask most people, they'd say the Patriots are probably still a little bit better, even though both teams are 1-2. Um, Vegas is saying the Patriots are quite a bit better because this is almost 6. It's 5.5. I don't know. I think that like some people maybe overreact to the Panthers blowing out the Falcons, and maybe they're thinking, oh, they might actually be good, and then the Panthers go on the road and get blown out again situation. So like, I guess if I had to do this, I would say Patriots just because it doesn't really make sense to me, but I don't know. That's my.
I just keep wanting the Patriots to be markedly better than they were last year. I wanted, like I said, that impact, just that good coach impact right away. Shit gets orderly. People know what the fuck they're supposed to be doing and when. And yeah, maybe the talent isn't quite there yet, and maybe the schemes aren't fully in place yet because it's all fucking new. But the fucking hustle is there, right? And the fucking we love the coach, all the rah rah bullshit that drives some teams to victory, and it just there just doesn't seem to be that here yet, and that's why this is a little line is a little high, especially they just blanked a team. That team wasn't winless. That team was Falcons were coming off a win, with that quarterback. It's not like the quarterback got injured. So this is an odd line. I mean, it's on the road, but
yeah,
it's pretty high for me.
So I don't know. Stay away for me. I have no idea. We'll see what these 1 and 2 teams can do if the Panthers can play tough on the road.
Yeah.
So the Panthers basically have been pretty bad on the road and really good at home in their one game. So we'll see. We'll know more after week 4.
Sure.
Okay. Chargers at the Giants. I said Chargers 6.5.
I went Chargers giving 5.
I don't remember. Opened at 6. I nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this was the Chiefs at the Giants was I think 6.5 as well, or right in that range. Mm-hmm. So, you just kind of do the same thing. It seemed like a fair line, and the Chiefs did cover, but it could have gone the other way definitely. So you just keep it there. I think it again, it's very fair. I think people maybe rush to take the Chargers on the road here. Maybe the Giants haven't looked good. 0-3 versus 3-0. Like, all they need to do is win by a touchdown. I think that, like I said, a lot of people are going to like that. And for that reason, I love to go the other way, and I'm going to go Giants for 2. Can I have Giants for 2? All right. Let's move on. We got the Jaguars, the 2-1 Jaguars at the 3-0 Niners. I said Niners 7.5.
And I went Niners giving 3.
Thank you. This is I think you got one. I think.
I'm hoping.
I think it's like 3.5.
It's 3.
Oh, it's right on 3. You frickin' nailed it, dude.
Yep.
Okay. 9-1.
Yeah. So I just don't like. Maybe let me phrase that. I don't think the Niners are a good football team. They are 3-0. So I'm clearly wrong about stuff, and I don't know anything. And I don't think the Jags are a good football team. So the Niners being home, this probably should be higher. I'm just a little skeptical. That being said, I do think they will win this game.
So here's something that's interesting that I didn't know. So I was way off on this, but apparently Mac Jones hurt his knee, and Purdy is probably, I would call him probable. I think he was already supposed to be the emergency quarterback. So if Jones can't play, I think Purdy absolutely plays, because I don't know that you want to go to your third stringer. So I think that's a reason. This should be more than 3 to me, but concerns about the quarterbacks in San Francisco, I guess it kind of makes sense. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think Purdy probably ends up playing. I think the Niners take care of business at home. Jacksonville to San Fran cross country. You got Liam Cohen, who I'm not a huge fan of. I think Purdy plays, and I think the Niners blow him out. So I'm going to go Niners for 3 stars.
I just, for some reason, I just don't want to buy into the Niners. It just, for me, I'm not sure. And they're probably going to come out of this week being 4-0. And then we're like, I mean, just look at it. Like, you look at the landscape of the NFC, and you go like, fuck yeah, Niners, dude. They're going to be right there in that NFC Championship game. I just don't feel that way. Like, regardless of what happens this weekend, the Bucs feels like a more natural fit right now than.
Yeah, the thing with the Niners is Purdy's played 1 game. Kittle got hurt in their first game. They've had, like, Juwan Jennings has been out, like, I think at least 1 game. Ayuk's still not back. They just have, until you can get your full team on the field, it's like you don't really know what you have. So they're 3-0 against not the toughest opponents. It's kind of one of those, like, if Purdy can come back and stay healthy, and Kittle can come back and stay healthy, and their receivers come back and stay healthy, yeah, they could be really good, but they also, even if that happens, they might not be an elite team. I don't know. It's just a huge question mark, right? It's early in the year, and until teams get healthy, you just don't really know for sure what you have. And then, like the Chiefs have played a really tough schedule the first 3 games. The Niners maybe not so much. So just don't really know what you got.
I don't know. I don't know. Fuck, maybe they win the Super Bowl. Who knows? But
Super Bowl. Yeah, they were in it.
We'll see.
Recently.
We'll see. Yeah, they were a couple of times. This guy coach, he's good. I do think he's a good coach, right? Shanahan, I do think clearly, right, that you don't drive to the level of stability and success that he's had without being, you just can't do it. To have understood all facets of how this fucking game works, he has done that. The fact that he hasn't had the ultimate success yet, that's just the way it goes sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for some reason this year, I don't have faith. So.
All right.
But I don't know.
See. Jury's out on the Niners.
For sure.
Okay.
All right, moving it along.
Colts at the Rams. Okay, so
another good game. This could be a really great game.
yeah, so one thing quick. You talk about like Van Pelt does his bad beats. So the Rams are lining up to kick a field goal to win by 1 or 2 points. And it's the last play of the game, right? So it gets blocked and the Eagles return it for a touchdown. So the Eagles were up 1 or 2. Clearly we're not going to cover the 3.5 or 4 or whatever it was. And they return it for a touchdown at the buzzer. That is basically the worst possible beat that you could have, like if you had the Rams. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But as far as this goes, you've got 2, I guess, really good teams. Yeah. I went Rams 4.5.
So I went Colts. No, let me shut my mouth. I went Rams -3. Excuse me. I want to talk about this. Is this so? There are a couple of offensive coaching trees, sort of in the NFL today, right? And you have the McVay Shanahan tree. I think there's probably a Reed tree. He traces his roots back to Holmgren, right? But then you have another tree because the guy won a Super Bowl. You have the Sirianni tree, and Steichen is of the Sirianni tree. I have no idea what their offensive philosophy is. I don't know that much about football. I probably should. But I think it's interesting that we have 2 sort of distinct offensive, maybe they're incredibly related, but 2 distinct offensive family trees going at it this weekend.
So
both good teams.
Well, both the Eagles and the Colts have very good offensive lines. They both have elite running backs. And they both have above average quarterbacks, but not like elite. Like Hurts
not anymore
with his decision making, and he can run the ball. He doesn't like make mistakes. Like, I don't know, you could call him elite, like borderline elite, but like as far as like
gotta be in the conversation,
pure like passer and things like that, obviously not. So it just depends how you look at it. But yeah, I mean, like that's obviously the formula.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But so it's just that'll be very interesting. The Colts just again such a surprise. I have no idea what can happen in this game. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, edge to the Rams in the receiver category. I mean, Nakua is elite.
Yeah, so
Neat.
we'll get to the line real quick and then
Oh, yeah.
we'll talk
Go
about it.
for
So
yeah.
it opened at 4.5 and it's down to 3.5. So you get that one. Edged
Oh,
me
man.
out.
Thank
That's
God.
2 in a row.
Thank
9-2. I love the Rams here. They're coming off a kind of a heartbreaking loss. They need to get right. They're at home. The Colts are 3-0. The Colts need a little humble juice or humble pie. What do they call it? This screams Rams. Sure, the Colts could keep it close and maybe they only win by 3 and the line's 3.5. But this is absolutely like kind of a lopsided motivational factor situation. Like I said, Rams coming off a tough loss, need to get right. You got McVay, and then the Colts. It's like the Rams are like, okay, the Colts like, all right, humble pie time. So Rams 3 stars is what I'm doing.
Yeah, man, I do think this is certainly the. I guess I mean the Broncos are supposed to be a good team, right? And I think the Colts won in a fluky way, but they were competitive in that game, right? They were competitive enough to be able to win a fluky game. So I guess I'm not going to take that away from them. So it's not like they haven't played a good team, I suppose. But coming out of it, like the Rams are definitively a good team. There's not any question about it. So I have the true measure of the Colts. Coming out of this game, win or lose, right? We will know where the Colts are for real or not. I think.
Yeah,
Because the
absolutely.
Rams certainly are.
Yep, absolutely.
Again, regardless of the outcome, I know the Rams are a good team. You're not going to tell me they're not. So.
Yeah. All right, we got 5 left. Bears at the Raiders. Fresh off a drubbing of the Cowboys. I said Raiders 2.5.
I went Bears 1.5.
Well, I think it's okay. So it did open at Raiders 2.5, and
It's Raiders 1.
and there's one Bears 1.5. So yeah, I mean, like I guess Raiders 1 is kind of the most consistent, you would say. So we'll say Raiders -1. So I'm off by 1.5, and you're off by 2.5. So I get that one. All right, whatever. It's less than a field goal either way. Basically, pick your winner.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I maybe alluded to this earlier, but Raiders were in a very tough spot last week. They've had sort of a tough schedule so far, playing the Chargers and the Commanders, and then they did beat the Patriots on the road. Bears, very confident now. They beat the Cowboys at home. I don't know. The Cowboys are, who knows, like what
Their defense
what
is
you
just
have.
bad.
Yeah.
I think you know that definitively at this point. I think you look at the Giants game where with Russell Wilson with all the yardage he had, 450, whatever it was, and just how complacent the secondary looked against the Bears. And again, that they had almost no pressure. I really need to look at how many sacks. I don't know if he had any, maybe a few, but he had all kinds of time to throw. He had a flea flicker. How much time you need to have to complete a fucking flea flicker?
And it was like they kind of broke through and like
they did. He was
running back,
adjusted.
but,
Yeah, it affected how he threw it because it was a very odd high arc. But then it was to Caleb's credit, it was a beautiful pass, right? It was that's not an easy thing to do because he hit the kid in stride. You know what I mean? Like in stride,
for sure,
stride. A perfect pass. But it was near perfect conditions. It was like practice conditions. There was just no penetration there. So it's just, they're just not a good defense. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just not.
That's fair. So this, like I said, Raiders have had kind of a tough schedule. Bears now, they got to win. They're like, okay, let's start clicking. We can beat a bad team now.
I think that's it. And they can't, I don't think the Ravens defensive line is very good either. So, or the Raiders, excuse me.
So I think, here's what I'll say. I think people maybe overreact to what the Bears just did.
Yeah.
And I think the Raiders now, they get a home game. They don't have to play on 6 days prep versus a normal week. I think the Raiders can win a game at home. Bears traveling to Vegas. Like, this is another one that just kind of screams like it's a good spot for the Raiders, but it could be a statement game kind of for the Bears. Like, not that the Raiders are great, but go on the road get to 2-2, and then people start talking a little bit differently about you. But I just don't see it. I like the Raiders here. I'm gonna go 2 stars on the Raiders.
That makes all kind of sense. I don't think you saw anything in the first 2 games that made you think that the Bears were competent at being sort of an organizational entity. And so everything you talked about, the travel, the change in time zone, all the discipline stuff, right? That good organizations just do because they're organized, and bad organizations don't because they're not. And I think that's just everything screams Raiders here. Everything. I don't care what they did against the Cowboys, clearly. So, at the same time, I don't think the Raiders are a very good football team at this point. So, and if the defensive line isn't very good, then I think that Bears can win this game.
All right. Throwing stars at it?
No, God, no.
No
That would
throwing
require
stars.
faith, and I am absent that currently.
All right. Let's move on.
Oh,
We got the
goodness.
Ravens at the Chiefs. They're both 3-0.
Yeah.
And by that I mean 1-2.
Yeah.
Who would have had that on their bingo card? 1-2 Ravens, 1-2 Chiefs. All right. So I said Ravens by 3.
I went Ravens in 2.5.
You nailed it. It opened at 3 and it's 2.5.
Yeah, I think we talked about this. Ravens. I think the Ravens are a great football. I think they could be the best team in football. I think at times they look like the best team in football. They're like I said, the only people to beat the Ravens are the Ravens, but they fucking love to do it. They're really good at it. They're super fucking good at it. Unfortunately, for the Ravens. So, honestly, like, absent those, like, if they weren't mistake prone, this game could be 7, right? Could you see the Chiefs giving 7 to the Ravens if they weren't like the most penalized team in football?
Yeah, Chiefs
Like,
are still
absent
kind of
that?
like not that healthy. I also look at this like the Chiefs over the past in the Mahomes era have been pretty clutch.
Yeah.
Like they've been able to win a lot of close
3
games.
Super Bowls.
And the
They did 5.
Ravens lose every close game that
Yeah.
matters against the team that is sort of clutch. So
Yeah.
the Ravens have a better roster. I just are the Ravens going to blow out the Chiefs in Kansas City? Maybe, but probably not. So then can the Chiefs keep it close and maybe win this game? Absolutely. So I don't love it, but I just think the Chiefs at home, both teams are desperate, clearly. I just think the Chiefs at home can do enough to cover 2.5. I like it for 1 star, and I'm starting to give out every game here, but it is what it is. I like it.
Hey, man. It's a great way to start the next week off.
Yeah, it's true.
Talking about the games.
Yeah.
Because then we don't have to talk about every game, just a few. Although now we're probably going to talk about every game. Given our spread.
Yeah, that's all right.
It is what it is.
All right. We got 3 left.
Let's do it.
And I think Packers Cowboys is Sunday night because there's 2 Monday night games again. So Packers fresh off their loss to the Stinky Browns on the road again in Dallas. So I said Packers by 5 on the road.
I went 3.5. This would have been higher, but dude, they look so awful against the Browns.
Yeah.
They look so bad.
I didn't watch any of that game. I had other games on. But yeah, it was like, whatever. The Browns have a good defense. So it's 10-0 for like quite a while. And then all of a sudden, obviously, the Browns had a couple of things go right for them. They tie it up. They end up kicking the field goal to win it. So Packers didn't score a lot, but they were dominating the game. And then it's like, 10 points isn't a lot if the other team can have a couple good possessions. And that's kind of just what happened.
Yeah.
All right. So I said 5, you said 3.5. It was 5.5. It's up to 7.
I just think I think this is a fair line. Honestly, again, I just don't think the Cowboys are very good, and I do think LaFleur is a good coach. I just love his. So they did a stats comparison at the start of the game, or at some point during the game this last week, where like his stats were sort of comparable to Aaron Rodgers over the same number of games, and that shocked me. Because I don't see him as being anywhere near as dynamic a quarterback as Rodgers was in his heyday. So, I guess, but I think Love's not like a top tier quarterback. I don't think right now. but I think he's going to look brilliant against the Cowboys this weekend.
Yeah, so it's higher than both of us thought. I think CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a high ankle sprain, so he's week
That's
to
the other
week.
piece of it.
I don't know. Like this line tells me he probably doesn't play. This is the Micah Parsons return game,
That's right.
which is interesting. So what does Micah get after Dak, or do the Cowboys focus on him and kind of take him away? So that'll be definitely interesting to watch. Now, I think the Cowboys can score with the Packers. I think
Without CeeDee Lamb, though?
yeah, that's the thing. Like if I had to take this, I would go Cowboys home dog. 7's a lot, but with the injuries and whatnot, like the Packers also should have no trouble scoring on the Cowboys. Both teams, I mean, the Cowboys are what 1-2, Packers are 2-1. So, people are talking about the Packers as maybe the best team in the league. If they fall to 2-2, obviously that changes. Cowboys need to get back to 500. You don't want to start 1-3 because your chances of making the playoffs are worse. So, could be a good game. I mean, Sunday night, last time the Cowboys were primetime, they were right with the Eagles, couldn't pull it out. So, we'll see.
Think they cover the back of the end zone?
Maybe they just thought Williams was going to sail it. If he
You know,
got it that
that's
far,
fair.
just
You know,
sail it.
that's fair. He has had severe accuracy problems. I thought they were minimized in this, but the challenge with him is like he could be like under no pressure and still sail a ball, right? Like that has been one of I think his issues. Him less so than like some of the quarterbacks that have preceded him, but his accuracy has been a problem.
Yeah. All right, we got 2 left.
Let's
2
do it.
Monday games. I think it's like 6 and 7 Central or something. Like it's interesting when they have these 2 Monday games. They stagger them differently sometimes. Like sometimes they start 2 hours apart. Sometimes it's 1. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So we got Jets at the Dolphins. I said Dolphins by 4.
I have the Dolphins giving 1.5.
I think you're closer.
Dolphins
Opened at
3.
3, and it's mostly 3. So
Yeah.
I guess not.
Nope.
3 is a 2.5. So basically right in the middle of what we both said. I get that one. The last one, I got that one. So I'm gonna win the week.
Still shellacking though. Yeah.
Okay. The Jets at the Dolphins. So these teams are basically equal, right? You give the Dolphins the home 3. I don't know. I guess the Jets have been a little bit frisky. They almost beat the Bucks on the road. They played the Steelers tough in a high-scoring game. Who'd they play week 2? I think they got blown out week 2. Oh, yeah, the Bills. I mean, most teams are going to get blown out by the Bills. So I guess it makes sense. The Dolphins are still playing hard. The Jets are maybe a little better than we thought they would be. Maybe people thought they would be terrible. So it's 3. I guess that is fair.
Whatever. Like I don't think either of these teams are very good. So okay.
Take the Dolphins to win by exactly 3.
There it is.
It's very fair. All right. Then we got the Bengals at the Broncos. This was supposed to be Burrow and Nix, and it's not. It's what's his
Browning.
name? Browning and Nix.
Jack Browning, Jake Browning.
So you've got the 2-1 Bengals who are on the downhill slide with Burrow basically out the regular season, and the Broncos are. What are they? Are they 1-2?
They're 1-2.
1-2, and could have beaten the Chargers. What was their other loss?
Lost the Colts.
Oh yeah, and then they should have beaten the Colts. So they're kind of like can't win the games that they sort of should win.
Nix hasn't looked all that good either, though. Is the other thing. He's
Right.
not been excellent.
The sophomore slump, and he's old too. He's already like 35.
Oh,
Yeah.
something.
No, but he really is like he was like what 25
He was
when he
4,
got drafted or
maybe
something like
yeah.
that. Let's look it up real quick.
Fair enough.
Bo Nix age.
25, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, he's 25 now. For some reason, I thought he was even older than that. But he's only a second-year guy, and he's already 25. Whatever. He's got a lot of years left. All right, Broncos at home. I said 5.5.
I went Broncos giving 7.
You're gonna get that. It is up to 7.5. Yeah, Josh gets that one. So I don't know how you handicap Browning on the road. Bad Bengals defense, kind of bad offensive line. Like,
I mean, the Bengals feel like they're in free fall after that game. I mean, it was really a disaster.
yeah, the Broncos should win this game by around a touchdown. It makes sense. I just hope it's a good game because it's fun to watch close games on Monday night.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
All right. So
there's 2 Monday night games too this week for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
And then we already talked about the Ireland game, right?
Yeah.
Vikings and Steelers. Yeah.
Yeah. That was when you were taking a quick break, but that's a weird one. It opened as Steelers 2.5, and it went all the way to Vikings 2.5, which is, I don't know, like maybe there's an injury. 5-point swing is a lot. Something to look into. Whatever. It's a field goal either way. Okay. Real quick. Josh has the Seahawks for 1 star. Josh has the Titans for 2 stars. I have the Lions for 1 star. Josh has the Bucks for 3. I have the Giants for 2, Niners for 3, Rams for 3, Raiders for 2, Chiefs for 1. Rams, I think, pummel the Colts. I think they're due for 1. Niners, I still don't think the Jags are very good. I think Purdy plays. If he does, I think the Niners can give the Jags some humble pie. And those are kind of my 2 big ones. But also, I think the Raiders get one against the Bears, unfortunately, but we'll see. It's a big spot for the Bears if they can get to 2-2.
Yeah.
I have nothing more to say right now. Do you?
Go Bears.
Go Vikings.